Oh, hi there. Oh, 1 second. Let me just turn on a light here. I missed a light. Apologies for that. It is Saturday, and it's time to storm some Mino Castle. Resume storming the Mino Castle, the complete Mino. I believe I did this last on last Saturday, maybe. It's either the last Saturday or maybe it was last Thursday. It's been a while, so that's the plan for today. Nothing else, just going to be storming and chatting. We'll see how this goes. Saturday usually has people out and about, so we don't get big numbers in here. We don't get big numbers usually, but of the numbers we get, we don't usually get them on Saturdays. But hopefully we get some people, have some chatting, and learn some things. I've got some Itoen Sencha tea given as a gift from someone who was leaving, going back to Japan. It was the Japanese bags, so the extra special bags. So it's good. It is good. Number 97. Let's see. So I am going to check this. This is problem 97. Last time we left off on finished problem 96. So let me just make sure I transcribe these, because some of these are getting interesting. Not that the others aren't interesting, but they're getting more character, especially in the pieces down here. So we have a bishop and a knight in hand, and they don't have anything. So problem 97. This is it. And away we go. Ooh. Looking like it might be edge. We already have the knight aiming at 9-3. We have a knight aiming at 9-3. We have a knight aiming at 7-3. Hey, Gabrielle. Great to see you. Oh, hi there. Nice to see you. Feels like it's been a while. I don't think we've chatted in a while. Trying to storm the Mino Castle. The complete Mino. It's crazy guess. Knight takes 7-3 because why not? You playing much shogi in the past week or so, or you just doing other things? You work, study, over the board. If we didn't have a pawn here, if we could just drop a pawn on the head, I think I would do this in an instant. This is the king is. We don't have a gold. We can get a gold. Your internship is oh, very far, so a lot of time going back and forth. Oh wow. Yeah, commutes are kind of day killers. When I for a very short amount of time, I worked at Groupon in downtown Chicago. This is when I was living in Chicago for like 3 months, maybe not even 3 months. I worked in Groupon, and I thought I would drive, and quickly found out that it was like an hour and a half at least each way with traffic. So it was not only like an hour and a half to 2 hours of driving each way, but it was the worst kind of driving because it was just in bad traffic. And then I had to pay for parking. And one of the days, I went to the machine. I paid my $20 or whatever it was for the parking, the ticket, so I could leave the parking garage. And somehow, by the time I went from that payment machine to the car, I lost my ticket. And so I went to the guy, there's a guy on staff there on site, and I'm like, I just lost my ticket. You see me every day. You got to buy another ticket. Sorry. So, I bought another ticket, drove away, and I said, I'm never paying for this parking garage again. And so I didn't drive again. And then I took the train and the bus, and that was 2+ hours each way. So it was like 4 hours of commute, and it's just brutal. It's just brutal. You're adapting. Yeah. Oh, you're going to play TTM. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. What is the definition? TTM is after turning to Shodan? Is it after the turning to Shodan and before the turning to King? Like, what is TTK? An hour and a half going, 2.5 hours going back. That sounds just like mine. 4 hours of commute, and boy, it's soul like consuming, but sometimes it's worth it. Okay, TTK is 4 down plus. I see. So no chance of that for me anytime soon. We also have this friendly 3/4. TTM is 1 to 3. Okay. So I dream of Shogi can play TTK. What if we drop the bishop here? No, I don't think that's good enough. This is also going to be a threat at some point, right? What if we... He's perma banned from TTM? Why is that? Oh, because he's 4 already. It's peak rating, I guess. Those tournaments are all about peak rating. Like even though I maybe overinflated, there's no chance for me to ever, if I rank down, I wouldn't be able to do TTS again. Not again or ever. I was gonna say I feel this is instructive, and it must be, because it's in a book where they're trying to instruct you. But I'm not seeing the instruction yet. Like, if we do this, let's say, if we drop the bishop, let's say on 4/5 or 4/6, he just pushes the pawn. We take. He takes. Oh, and then the knight drop. No, and then he takes. That said, if we take now, like you had knee jerked into, if silver takes, we take the gold. So that's obvious. If the knight takes, now we drop the knight. King can't go back because we have the bishop. King goes to the side. We get the free gold. We drop if we do this. So the two responses to this are both bad for the opponent. So what about king takes? If king takes, we redrop the knight. If king takes, we drop the knight. The king can just go back. Yeah, the king can just go back. Right? Okay, you say the same thing that I'm stuck on now. The big problem is king takes. So does that mean I have to drop the bishop first? What if I take the gold first? Take the gold, silver takes. Gold takes, silver takes. Knight takes, 7-3, king takes. Knight drop. Huh. I'm not seeing that. Not seeing that yet. I don't think we can drop the bishop in this diagonal because the pawn. And there's no point in dropping the knight here. Knight's hack on the edge. Boy, I don't know. I don't know. So that would be take, take, pawn push. It'll be take. Take. Pawn push. Redrop the knight. Take. Take with the lance. No, it'd be take, take, push, redrop the pawn. Yeah, I don't think that would work. Hey, dude, nice to see you. So I don't think the edge is going to work. And I'm still not seeing what to do after king takes. Which makes me think, we've got to drop a bishop, except that the pawn push, I think, just nullifies it. Can we push the... No. I think there's a very crazy line after bishop drop, but it's not enough. Is there any value in immediately dropping this pawn? I don't think so. Maybe. So if we drop it, he takes, we drop the bishop, he drops, we take. So he still has to drop something. He can't drop a pawn. So knight comes in, we drop, silver takes, we take, bishop drop, pawn 6-4, bishop takes, gold 6-3. Yeah, knight drop 7-4, gold takes, bishop takes 5-3, promote. Yeah, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. But so how about this? I think this is still the same. I don't think that's... So if we drop that, we'll just do this again, right? So what if we sack here? King has to take. And now I think we're stuck. So I don't think that's it. Oh no. So if he does this, now we can take, right? Wait, if we take now. Oh no, I already showed. I already saw this. Knight drops 6-5. Knight drops 6-5. Oh. Is that enough? Okay, so you're thinking the same. Oh, so what about knight 6-5? And then you say gold 5-2 to 6-2. That's okay. So that's what I did. Bishop drop on the diagonal, and let's just say this. So that would be mate. But it feels like I'm not finding the defensive resource here. How about we just do this? That looks good. That seems good. So does he have a better response to this? Like not giving any chance, like not giving any chance to sack. We also have to consider gold 6-1, 6-2. Yeah. Although that's basically this. That's basically this. That yeah, so that ends up in this faster. But no, then this would be a thing, right? Yeah, that would be too good. So I'm sort of liking this. I'm not seeing a good defense here, right? Did we debunk this thing? I don't think so. He can't take with the gold because we dropped the knight. He takes with the silver, we drop the knight. If he runs, we just sack. I think I like this. Hey, Todovsky, nice to see you. I think I like this. I'm not seeing a refutation yet here. Give ourselves a square to run in. Takes, otherwise we get the fork. You can't go here because the sack. Either way is the sack. I think this. I'm not seeing maybe pawn 6-4. Yeah, pawn 6-4. I think we have that. That was the first one that I put. That was the first. That was the first. I think that was the first one. Although maybe not as the first move of defense. Yeah, as the first move, maybe this is difficult. Yeah, I don't now I think that doesn't work. So Gabrielle, you think knight sack and pawn push on the edge after the bishop drop? So we're back to the first bishop drop. We're back to the first bishop drop. Oh, okay. The only other one I had was immediately going with this, which I don't think gets us there. I don't think this gets us there. What did I say here? Takes, drops. Bishop drops 7-3 at the end of the pawn 7-4. Oh, there's the pawn 6-4. Something like this. Wait, I showed now. Or do you actually mean... Oh, okay, so... That just gives him high Mino, though, right? I don't think we get anything here. And now this gold is protecting the drop point. So back to the I'm back to the dragon takes line first. So if we get that silver, if we get the silver out of the way first. So I'm gonna start because I'm gonna make moves and talk rather than just thinking. We've been spending enough time on this problem that I'm gonna start maybe accelerating, trying to find a solution. Because I normally like to study it like I'm at the board. Now what do we do? I don't think that does it. There's a reason this silver is here. There's a reason this silver is here. there is a reason that silver is there. And we haven't gone meta yet on this problem. Which is making me go back here. So this is the line we could not figure out. The silver helps prevent against the king running forward. I just don't see it. I don't think there's anything there. We can't drop pawns. All right. You know, there's some trick using bishop drop 7-5 and knight drop 6-5 in some sequence. Bishop drop 7-5. I assume you mean or what you actually the bishop drops 7-5. so we can get this. Yeah. What would we do? What would we do? Not sure we get enough there. Oh, gosh. All right. All right. It's been 36 minutes. It's been 36 minutes on the first problem. I'm going to call it. Knight drops 7-3. Knight takes 7-3, promote. Okay, a fierce attack on the king's ear. All right. And, okay, great. They gave us the line. They gave us the line that we knew was the problem, which is king takes. All the other lines are easy. Knight drop 6-5. So not 8-5. I think I was redropping on 8-5. King 8-2. I'm going to ignore the running over here. King 8-2. Wait. Yeah, okay. Bishop drop 5-5. Okay. So they didn't. We saw this, but I still think this defends it. Oh, but anyway, so let's see. Let's read. A fierce attack on the king's ear. The solution is the knight sacrifice promotion. Knight takes 7-3, promote. Knight takes is answered by... Oh, yeah. Knight takes is answered by rook drop 6-1, or rook takes 6-1, followed by knight drop 7-4. Yes, we showed that. Gote therefore plays king takes, but now a different knight drop. Knight drop 6-5, king 8-2, bishop drop 5-5 is a fierce attack on the king's ear. In the solution diagram, if knight drops 6-4, okay, rather than 7-4, 7-3, Sente has bishop takes, pawn takes. Yeah, this is good. This is yeah, okay, I see it. And then well. Which way are they going to say? King 7. They did king 7-1. Dragon takes, of course. King takes. Ooh, knight takes 5-3, no promote. Oh, very pretty. Okay. But what about incidentally, wait. Oh, so they don't show my line. They don't show my line. This was my line. This was my line that I thought refuted our attack. After losing about a dozen games and stuff like this, you started building high Mino whenever the opponent's bishop is free. Yeah, it makes sense. So you decided to start playing high Mino. I decided to stop playing Mino. So I either went big brain or small brain. I just after losing to enough of these, I just stopped playing Mino. Maybe just Dragon 6-1 works. But we looked at this, right? Well, with the knight on this side, same. I'm gonna guess same-ish thing. Um, oh, hold on. Okay. Oh, hold on. How did we not see this? How did we not see this before? Wait, so I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna go through our line. I'm gonna go through. Oh, this is where I was. This is where I was still trying to think of the problem, where I wasn't doing them on over the board. I think where I was trying to pretend like I was doing over the board. So let's see. Let's see. Did I actually draw this one out? Yes, I did. And 5-5. So there it is. He drops there. Okay, we didn't do this over the board. I mean, we didn't do this there. That's okay. So there it is. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, Yamaguchi and Maranaka. It's possible they're the high road. It's definitely possible they're the high road. The Abima tournaments are published again, so there's some matches getting. It looks like Abima is releasing, I don't know, one a day, a couple a day. The two that I've watched so far were Manao versus Nishiyama, and I won't give any spoilers, but that was a great game. But the reason I mention this is because there was another game, Manao versus Ueda. Manao made High Mino. Her opponent made Anaguma. So in a 5-minute with 5-second Fisher increment tournament, after Manao saw that her opponent had pushed the lance and decided to go Anaguma, I think she spent an inordinate amount of time deciding to push the silver 7-2 and go to start Mino rather than make an Anaguma of her own, which I thought was interesting in a very fast game that she spent that much time thinking about it. It really made me wonder, so early in the opening, and I sometimes think this in chess too, it's like, why are they thinking so long? Is she trying to bring up both variations in her head and just figure out the one that she remembers the best? Like, is it just, because you could tell, like, the opponent pushed the lance and Kagawa, started looking up and thinking, if I'm remembering this right, and then she pushed silver 7-2 to make Mino, but like the decision had to have been Mino versus Anaguma of her own. But it's amazing to me. I would love to know, like, if we had vision, like if we can just convert brain thoughts into words. I want to know what she was thinking during that time. Like, was she trying to bring up her prep for both of them and then just deciding on the one that either she had the prep for more easily? that she was remembering that moment better, or maybe she realized she remembered them both and just picked a preference, or maybe she's trying to remember her history, her past games against this player. Either way, I would just love to know exactly what was being thought at that time in a 5-minute, in a 5+5 tournament. Maybe it wasn't that much time. Maybe it just felt like a lot of time to me. But when she was doing it, but it felt like a lot of time. That's such a fun tournament. It's such a great time control. The pieces are great. The board is great. It's just awesome. You say, Gabriel, Krikor brought an interesting point once about thinking in the opening. He said that if you think a bit and your opponent just play instantly, you're already in the game and the opponent is still just using them. Yeah, that's fair. I've thought about that. I've independently come up with that same idea that when I play my opening very quickly, I'm playing by rote a lot of times, especially when I'm talking, like when I'm streaming and I'm talking, especially if I'm talking about a different topic as I'm making my opening, I am often just not watching what the other person is doing my game, my opening in rote, and getting into trouble. This has happened a number of times where I mess up my move order in Urchin or Ryu versus Static Rook. And it's, it really, so that's why now when I'm streaming or over the board, in those at early portion, I mentally, I double check like what I'm doing. I still mess up, especially if I'm talking, but I'm trying. You said in some recent games against chess experts, you faced some demanding opening choices. Opponents played by rote and through the game. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that happening because I do it. I'm not an expert, obviously. I'm not an expert level in shogi, but despite appearances on my stream, I'm not that bad, especially over the board. And especially when I'm really into it. But the playing by rote can still just. I think there's also the other problem of playing by rote. Not necessarily that you mess up your position. I guess this could be considered that, but when you're playing by rote, a lot of times, or when I'll just say not you. I'll just say when I'm playing by rote, many times I will miss the opportunities that my opponents are presenting to me. Not only am I sometimes like in the opening making the obvious mistakes of letting them in, let's say, just letting them destroy my king. There are times that I notice like seconds after I make my move that's like, oh, my opponent had messed up. I could have done this to take advantage. So, but I was just playing my rote lines. I make fun of fourth file players for turning off their brain and just playing, blindfolded by rote, putting out their moves. But I do the same thing sometimes. And if I am noticing that I'm missing some opponent's moves in the opening because I'm playing by rote, that means I'm probably missing a lot more than that. The times that I don't even notice that I've missed opportunities. Who is Krikor? Who is Krikor, Gabrielle? The name sounds familiar and I don't remember who it is. Todovsky, that's a big problem of mine where I can't refocus after one small thing goes wrong. Like when I hung that silver, it was fine. I was fine. It wasn't even a bad move. That's what's amazing about that. Like that position, the way that position was, is that when I hung that silver, I sort of started, especially in a 10-second game, it's like, okay, now what? Now my piece is gone, so now I need to consider drops more. Now I need to because now that would give you a silver. Now I have to consider drops. Now I have to rethink my plans. And in 10 seconds, recreating a plan and having to now watch your opponent's drops is tough. And I didn't recover. And so that will happen a lot for me, where if I make a mistake, and even if that mistake still leaves me in an advantageous or big, hugely advantageous position, I'll start crumbling because I'll start having self-doubt as well. I'll be confused about why I made that mistake. Yeah, so the blitzing the moves, that was something that people have done to me in the past over the board, and people do that online as well, and I try to do it as well sometimes to my opponents. Is either when my opponent has made a mistake, or if my opponent has a good position, I start picking up I start picking up the pace on my moves, and people do that to me. And I think I'm very subject to it because, people that I play over the board, a lot of them have seen me play, and they know my mentality when I'm playing, but, I haven't seen them play. I've just maybe played them once or twice or 0 times before, over the board. I've maybe never played these people, but they've seen me, so they know what will make me sort of crack or whatever. And so now I'm into that mode of like, oh man, okay, so now they're gonna speed up the time. I need to make sure that I don't let this bother me, etc., etc. Todosky, there have been a number of podcasts, chess podcasts. Like I say, I listen to a ton of chess podcasts. I can't remember the most recent one that I heard where this was discussed. It might have been It might have been a podcast that was discussing the book Chess for Zebras, or Zebras, as our European friends would say, or our British friends would say, which is a psychology. My understanding is, I haven't read it, but my understanding is that it's a fantastic chess psychology book. But anyway, I think this is where it came up. They were discussing that when you get ahead, when you enter a superior position, still use your time, because that's how you lose your position, is by rushing your moves. Just because you're advantageous, a lot of times it doesn't mean it's going to be an easy advantage to complete, or an easy advantage to convert into more advantage. So people will often, and I did this in the 3rd round of the US Shogi Championship, where I pressed on the gas and I started playing faster from a massive, potentially winning advantage against a 2-dan level player, and I pushed the gas too hard, and he was great tactically, and he saw, like, he despite the fact that it looked like he was mentally collapsed, because he was emoting heavier than I've ever seen anyone emote in a game, like beating himself up and just talking to himself, and so upset that he sort of, I don't want to say fell for my trap, because it wasn't a trap, but he fell into my grasp, I guess. And this was a central rook. He wasn't familiar with central rook. And so I'm like, this guy, I'm thinking, this guy is going to resign. He is so despondent right now. He may just resign. And he made his move and was continuing to talk to himself. And I thought, all right, now is the time to press the gas. Let me just knock him off the board here, so that he'll just resign. It didn't work, and I didn't spend enough time, and I made, my attacks were maybe a little premature. I could have just slowed down, settled down, made one defensive move to increase my castle, And it would have been extremely difficult to even get any counterplay, I think. But I didn't. I played the mental game. And I was thinking at that time, like, oh man, this is going to be my second win in this round. If the next game I get a Nifu, that means I'll be in contention for semifinals. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You say that you wonder, even in if in OTB you don't make noise during the game. Perhaps your body language confuses some opponents. This is a topic that I wish more people talked about on the chess podcasts. I do occasionally. There's a player who, he's not a very strong player, but he runs the Long Island Chess Club. It's called. I can't believe I'm shilling this podcast because the guy is really arrogant. It might be his Long Island / New York accent that makes him like this. But he to my sensibilities, he seems extremely arrogant. But anyway, his podcast talks about these kind of issues because he runs a chess club. He's a tournament director. I think his rating right now is somewhere in the 16 to 1700-ish range, with a peak, I think, somewhere in the 18 to 1900. But he's one of those guys who seems to constantly complain about rank deflation. And he's an old school player. Like, he doesn't respect OTB. He doesn't respect online play as much still. He still thinks that blitz play is not helpful, and all this stuff that's basically been proven wrong, by tons of people online. But anyway, he discussed this topic once, about, just briefly touched on it that I recall, about body language and talking and making noise during the game. So as a tournament director, this is a no-no to him. This is absolutely a no-no. And I think it's really a no-no to him because it tilts him. So if someone is making moves or making sounds, I think it tilts him. The thing that seems to have tilted him the most ever is when someone put a double question mark. Everyone in chess tournaments, you notate your moves. And you write your moves. You don't annotate them. You write them. And I believe annotation is explicitly outlawed in most tournament rules. But anyway, that'd be a tough one to deal with. But anyway, he was playing someone in a tournament game, and he made a move, and his opponent notated the move with question. So he saw that his opponent put the double question marks at his move. And it seems like his lower ranked opponent did this. And it seems to have thrown him into a tizzy. He was upset. Because keep in mind, he's making a podcast. So, he's trying to appear like, he's not flappable, or, he's trying to be calm and serious. But even on the podcast, he was kind of upset. So, hey, Skykeeper, nice to see you. And so, he got in his jab at the end of the game about it because he managed to win. He managed to turn it around and win. Anyway, these kind of topics I love because they affect me a lot. I've had people, play over the board, in club games or whatever, where, they collapse a bit in the opening, or, if there's one thing I'm good at in shogi, it's knowing when I've got a big advantage. When I know I have a big advantage out of the opening, I usually have, I know it. And I usually have a sense of what the engine will say it is, all this kind of nonsense. So I know when I have the opening. And so when my opponent, I know I have the advantage, my opponent knows he's got the advantage, and this has happened a couple, three times, three different players, and where they start doing the I'll just do this move. They're down. They're losing. They're not resigning, and they're like I'll just do this, or that kind of thing, and that throws me off. It throws me off because now all of a sudden it's like my opponent doesn't care anymore, or now they're not taking the game seriously because they know they've lost. And inevitably, in two of these three games, I managed to throw it. And I throw games. I throw games. As like most people eat breakfast. I throw games of shogi. So that's no big deal for me. So and it's hard to say with a small sample size that was the cause. But I know that I let up. And people like Gabrielle saying the drawbacks of being international celebrities. I think people know that I struggle with this, so maybe they'll be more apt to do it against me. I don't know. It's tough. With experience, I'm sure it'll go. But the more games I throw, the more experience I'm getting in hopefully not throwing. But those times of mental things, I try out of respect for the game and my opponent. I try not to emote at all when I'm playing. The most gamesmanship I will do is if there is a tactic on the far right portion of the board, I will be looking at the near left portion of the board and studying it intently, so that my opponent thinks that there's something going on in this left side of the board, so they don't notice this tactic on the in the far corner. So that's I think the most gamesmanship that I will do. But I know that some people can't control themselves. So there's also that. I think in games like shogi, you have people that have personalities that sometimes can't control themselves from emoting or talking or humming or making annoying sounds, or bob. It seems like in shogi this is more accepted than in chess. I don't know why that is. Like even at the pro levels, you see people. What is it called? Stimming, when just this movement. Like pros in shogi seem to do that. They seem to do that more than pros in chess do, to me. I don't know how we got in this topic, but anyway. Yeah, the poor turnip director. He can just say that's my handwriting. Well, he was playing. He was tournament directing and playing, so he has the final word. That's how my system for evaluating shogi position. You just know that you're better. That's the thing. I know that I'm better because I've looked at enough of these positions with the engine after, because I've thrown the games. I know that it's good. I know it's like I'll be looking at this position. I'll be like, I think this is plus 17, and then I'll look later at the engine, and it'll be like plus 15.5 or something like that. I look at the engine enough. I review my games off stream with engines quite often, and so I know. I have a sense of that. I don't have a sense of how to win these games, but I have a sense of how to evaluate them, points wise. Anyway. All right, so we've done one problem. Let's go to 97 or 98. I'm just making sure that I transcribed a lot of these. We are not going to be going through them today, I guess. So problem 98. Scanning. They have nothing in hand. We've got this odd pawn structure with our knight and our silver. All right, so this is problem 98. We don't have a pawn. We don't have a pawn. So there's no, you know, oh, maybe. Yeah, we do. We effectively have a pawn because it's right here. So my first thought is dropping the knight here. My second thought is bringing the knight up. So let's say we drop the knight. Let's say we drop it. Let's say we drop it. He pushes this pawn. We take. Silver can't take, obviously. If knight takes, we push the pawn. I don't like this pawn. I don't like this 6-4 pawn push. Why do we have a silver? Hey, Pikari, nice to see you. You say, 8-6 knight. You're looking to make the edge attack. The fact that we have this makes me think it's good. I don't want to get too meta with the problem yet. Because I think this knight is going to have a big role to play. But so if we do this, if we drop, let's say he does this, heading off a knight drop there. This pawn is preventing us from getting in, so I'm not sure if that gets us enough. Maybe. Maybe. Or do we proactively start running here? Knight drop 8-4. Yeah. Yeah, I think even if we drop knight before he takes, we get our pawn in, the king will just be able to take. I guess we could. Well, let's see. So if we do this, takes, we come in. Oh, I think, I wonder if this defense would. Maybe even that. Hold on. Okay, I guess it does end. I guess the pressure ends. We can't seem to budge this silver. I like I we can't take. There's just oops, that's not what I meant. Well, let's we don't have anything, do we? Can I? Yeah, what are they gonna do? Knight drop instead of pawn 7-4. Well, knight drop. Oh, 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 the usual, the usual. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We can't do that because we have the silver. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So that's mate. Is going to be mate. So what else can he do? I don't think much. It's the same deal. I guess this is going to be good. I think this is just going to be good. Excuse me, just had to sneeze. Hey, Capybara. Nice to see you. Yeah, after knight takes, they can't play knight takes. So that's the. So I think if they take if they move over the gold, like this move is now seeming like a bit of a waste to me because we want to sack anyway. So what do we do now? Knight drop. He can run. Like, I don't know what this silver's doing here. Oh. Hold on. Okay. No. I think we push the pawn. If he takes, we drop the pawn. Oh, it's the same deal. It's the same deal. It's the same deal. Ah! I don't think there's mate with just the silver gold and knight. Because he still is defending here. There's no option to just take. Drop the knight. I don't think so. Can we bring the silver up? Climb the silver? That's going to be awfully slow. That's going to be awfully slow. And easily, I think, refuted. So silver's not going to sack for the knight. Your first instinct would be knight 4-4, but that's why it's the wrong thing to do. Knight 4-4. Yeah. Yeah. This is what I would do as well. So in a game, knight 4-4 is what I would do. It's one of those one move threats. And then so I'd probably try to wedge a silver in after. Knight 4-4, he goes over, I wedge in a silver. Stuff like that. Maybe he goes back. And then my silver is blocking my bishop. But maybe, yeah. So if we did that, we have no pieces. So he probably could just take. This isn't really going to do anything. Yeah, knight 6-5. So not only threatening here, also threatening the silver drop. But I think if we do drop that silver, I think this would be all right. And now this gold is double protected, so we can't really sack. Well, we could still sack, but the silver would remain. I feel like it's gotta be this. Oops. King takes. I don't think surrounding is going to work because of this. Knight 5-3. If we drop knight 5-3, what's your plan? What's your plan here? Yeah. Any way to get this silver in? Yeah. You prefer knight 7-4 here? Yeah, it does seem nice. It definitely does seem nice, and it seems like it could be useful. Yeah. All right. I'll accept this as the answer. I'll accept this as the answer. But let's see what Kaneko Sensei says. Problem 98. Did I go to the right page? Pawn 7-4. Pawn 7-4. Pawn takes. Knight drop 8-6. Now knight drop 8-6. So Pikare's answer was you were the closest. I'm still not seeing it though. All right. Drop the knight from behind. When you have an advanced pawn on 7-5, having established a king's head vanguard pawn, for example, you should always consider the possibility of an attack on the king's ear. In the problem diagram, after the pawn sacrifice, pawn 7-4, drop a knight from behind with knight drop 8-6, threatening knight takes 7-4. If a knight can get to 7-4 against the Mino Castle, the attack can be called a success. Well, we also got a pawn in the one that we did. We also got a knight on 7-4. But we gave up one of our knights to do it. In the solution diagram, Gote has no good defense against knight takes 7-4. King runs? Wait, if silver 7-3, yeah, dragon takes 6-1, of course. Or king 7-3, all right. Knight 6-5 is very unpleasant. That is unpleasant. I agree, that is unpleasant. That is unpleasant. But it's not mate. But it is unpleasant. It is very unpleasant. Maybe ideas are coming down here to but then he'd drop a pawn. For 6 silver. If we drop 4-6 silver, like it's like this would give it, but how are we gonna make this? How are we going to make this happen? Well, silver 7-5. Silver 7-5 is definitely interesting. But I think after the pawn takes, I think we can't retake. Because now the king's running. Silver drop 4-6, then rook takes gold. Or what if, I guess, what if it comes... The YouTube chat stopped showing? Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, in world, nice to see you. Maybe Dragon 2-5 threatening silver drop 5-5. Okay, yeah, before dropping the silver. Yeah, so I was thinking here, but I thought the pawn, but you can't drop a pawn to protect this. Yeah. So now the question is, do we give up this gold? I mean, do we give up our pressure yet? I don't think so. Oh, now it's just mate. Oh, now it's just mate. Now it's just mate. Now it's just mate. All right, that's cool. All right, so partial credit to Picari on that one. Well done. Well done. Moving on to 101. Wait, no, moving on to 99. Oh, because I was on the answer page, which is sharing the... Okay. Problem 99. Let me just make sure that I transcribed it correctly. Three pawns in hand and a knight. That is not a blunder. That is not a mistake. And lance and pawn in their hand. Okay. So it is correct. Ooh, three pawns. Three pawns in hand. I mean, now it's got to be edge attack. You know, we know how this works. We know how this works. We know how this game works. I mean that's I'm almost willing, so we can discuss this, but although he has enough in hand that what if he drops another lance? Hey, Ortegano Moniwa, nice to see you. That doesn't seem good enough. That doesn't seem good enough to me. Or even coming forward. And then maybe that's good. So why are they giving them a lance? It must be to prevent this. Oh no, no. I think we have so many pawns. I think we pull it forward. I don't like that. You doubt Knight drop 9-4. Yeah, in that other line, yeah. Well, he doesn't need to do this. So let's pull it. I I think so. Let's continue to pull, and now we push this, and now we get that same night drop that was so good. The problem is we don't have a silver in hand. And he could just drop this. I suppose. I suppose we like that. Wait, yeah. So playing meta, I think they gave us 3 pawns in order to pull the lance all the way to 9-4. And in a real game, you only need 2 pawns because if you drop the 9-3, they're going to take it anyway. So, you know, at my level, you always need 1 fewer pawn than you actually need. Because people will play into what you want no matter what. Um, do we have any other ideas? I wonder. I don't think this should go first. I don't think that goes first. Yeah, I don't think that goes first because I was going to say because if we go first and then we push, we take, push, they could do that. But maybe that's fine. Oh, no, it's not fine. It's not fine. It's not fine because now they can redrop their pawn. Well, and then we can redrop. He takes. And now the silver is getting hit again. So I think it's 9-5. I think it's 9-5. I think that line. I think this one is going to be the goods. This is problem 99. Gotta move a little more quickly here. Problem 99. Pawn 7-4. Pawn takes. Pawn drop 7-3. Knight takes. Knight drop 8-6. Good day, Emperor Rex. Nice to see you. So these extra 2 pawns are all for naught. He got us. He got me. Drop where the opponent wants to drop is the name of this. Wait, what? How is that the name of this solution? We're not dropping where the opponent wants to drop. The opponent doesn't want to drop here. It's protected by the pawn. On 7-3. On 7-3. Okay. Here, too, the aim is an ear attack, a king's ear attack, by dropping a knight from the rear. But if simply pawn drop 8-6 after pawn 7-4, pawn takes, Gote can resist with lance drop 7-3. Or can exert unpleasant pressure after king 7-1. So they're saying that if we drop first, they can drop the lance. Or king 7-1, knight takes 7-4, pawn drop 7-3. Yeah, because we don't have a silver or anything in hand. Even if we did, it's still defending it. So we drop. The right idea after pawn 7-4, pawn takes, therefore, is to first drop with pawn 7-3. What about king takes? Forcing knight. So king takes. King takes. We'll see if he says so. After forcing knight takes, then dropping knight drop 8-6, there's no defense to knight takes 7-4, and no fear that the drop knight will be taken. Incidentally, an edge attack in the problem diagram would also be effective. Thank you, based Kaneko Sensei. We did it. Thank you. Thank you. But so the question that he didn't answer is, what about this? Can't come forward. Well, he could come forward. But let's say he doesn't. Do we just say it's uncomfortable? It comes up there. Even a sack doesn't work because there's no... Well, I guess if he comes back, then we drop the pawn. Then we drop the pawn. If he comes forward... we drop the pawn. We drop the pawn. Okay. All right. All right. Very good. How do I put these into if king 6-2? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good one. It's unpleasant. It's unpleasant. That's what is the other thing? What is the other thing that Kaneko says that I like? There's another phrase he uses that's like basically exercise for the reader. Not just is severe, but the time bomb has been planted. I like that. All right, all right. This is interesting though. What do we do? What do we do here? Um, can we do this? No, no. No, no, no. Huh. Well, if to check his chase says knight 8-5 is wrong, but then we don't have anything. Yeah, maybe. Still have the knight drop. But if we drop the knight, then he pushes this pawn. We can't bring our silver up. Oh well. Oh well. I wish he would have gone into this. This is you know, if I had a single large criticism of this book, and this is also true in chess books, but I don't seem to see it, at least in the chessable courses that I've used. I don't see this problem as often as I see it in this book, that he simply does not mention some lines that I can't figure out. And by virtue of the fact that these are not playable positions, you can't get great engine analysis on it unless you do a bunch of work. Like if I turn this on, we've seen these. This has been wrong. It's actually not even turned. It's calling this even. It's calling this an even game. So it's like it's tough to even. Like it actually calls this a bad move. This is the solution. It calls this a bad move. It goes from -2 to -3. So it's you can't even use fairy stockfish on these. Chess books give real positions. At least all the chess books I've seen. I mean, it's easier in chess because you could simplify the game to be actually that. But regardless, I'm still going to complain. That was problem 99. Here's problem 100. And just make sure that it's correct. We don't have a dragon on this board. That is not a typo. We have 2 knights, a silver, a gold, and a bishop in hand. They have nothing in hand. So this seems a little impractical, but we're whatever. So this it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop our bishop drops. We have 2 knights though. So I'm going to look immediately at just the knight drop. The stronger the player, the harder it is to know what is obvious to the reader and whatnot. That is totally fair. That's totally fair. But I guess I would argue, and I think you're not necessarily arguing against this, but I would argue that it's still a fair criticism of a book, or it would be a fair criticism of a teacher, if the teacher doesn't remember what it's like to be a 1Q Shodan 5Q type player. Oh yes, yeah. You say, Ninworld, you say that this happens in chess too. That there's the course from Magnus about the Sveshnikov. Yeah. With John Bartholomew, where Magnus didn't understand why he has to explain a weird queen move because it was natural to him. Yeah, you say it's on the free YouTube preview? It's on the there is a short and sweet version of that. At least there used to be a short and sweet course on Chessable of that. I believe that is the name Gold in that title? Because I played through that. I played through that Chessable, the free course, the short and sweet or whatever they called it. It's like Magnus's Golden Touch or something like that. I can't remember what the name was. But John Bartholomew, yeah, you worked on it. And that's partly why John Bartholomew was such a great educator, is that he understands how to use another chess phrase, another popular book. He understands the amateur's mind. That's a Silman book, as I'm sure you probably know. If you know about this Magnus and John Bartholomew course, you certainly know about Silman. Yeah, and I guess I would say that is what differentiates a lot of teachers, is their ability to understand what their student is considering or why they're missing things. And that's why that Bartholomew Climbing the Rating Ladder series is so useful, I think, because he knows what the opponent is going to play. He knows how they're thinking. He's taught enough people. And this is not to say that Kaneko isn't. It's, it's possible that this was just because they only give such a small amount of space for each answer here. So maybe it's not a criticism of Kaneko himself. It's more a criticism of the book format, which it is his book. So I guess, well, I don't know. I don't know the book industry. I don't know if the editors make him do this or the publisher makes him do this. But anyway. But some of those problems, it's really frustrating because it's like, yeah, I saw this other one, but I don't see the answer to this line. And my opponents, I think, would play this. So he has no pawns in hand. If we drop a bishop right away, he comes up. This is that usual defense. We go back, and now we can't drop the knight because the gold will just take it. So it makes me wonder if there might be value in dropping the knight immediately. He has to take. In this case, he has to take. We have because we do have enough to mate if he just runs. So drop it. He takes. Drop the bishop. Yeah, he has to take. He still has to take. I mean, he still has to block with the knight. Well, he could drop with the block with the silver. No, I think we would jump the knight. Oh, you think 8-6 and 7-4? Oh. Oh. So you're suggesting 8-6. I don't know what the opponent's going to do here. I guess this makes it even stronger. Oh, this is this mate? If he runs over here, it's mate. If he runs here, yeah, it is. Yeah, of course it is. Bishop gold. Oh wow, wow. So what can the opponent do here? There's no running, right? Is there? Oh, okay. So we could do stuff like this. Okay. So he takes. Same deal. So now if we drop a gold, now he can come over here. Then we jump this knight. He comes up. But now we don't have a gold. You think 8-2? You think 8-2? Just 8-2? And we're just better? You know, he can't take. He can't move. He can't move. He can't go here because that's going to be, you know, gold. He can't go there. He can't move over. Can't really do this either. Yeah, because I guess this is all just coming. You can never go this way. All right. So I think that's the answer now. I think that's the answer. I don't see a way to stop that. That's incredible. Where's my other line? This, I think, is the main line. This is incredible. All right, that's going to be the answer. Totally going to be the answer. And this is number 100. Knight drop 8-6. That's the only thing. Knight drop 8-6. So sometimes they give multiple. He gives multiple things here. This one, solution: knight drop 8-6. A sudden threat mate by linked knights. When you have two. So this is today's stream. This is what I want to take from it. Linked knights. Linked knights. Jack-o'-lantern did it against me in our game. When we played a while back. I flagged with mate on the board, but regardless, the knight attack, the linked knights was really a real valiant effort. When you have two knights against the Mino Castle, linked knights mate for a fast attack. Even when you don't have any other foothold, you can suddenly threaten mate against a perfectly formed Mino. Even if you don't have mate, or even when you don't have any other foothold, you can suddenly threaten mate against a perfectly formed Mino. Yeah, we don't even have a dragon there. The knight drop 8-6 from the rear threatens a linked knight's attack. If Sente can achieve knight drop 7-4, knight takes, or pawn takes, knight takes, a knight ends up giving check on 7-4, making it possible to mate easily. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. Problem 101. This is... Let me just make sure it's transcribed correctly. The king is on 7-1 in this example. We've already got the knights set up for linked knights, but the king is safe. We have bishop. Oh, same thing. We have bishop, gold, silver, and knight. One knight in hand this time because the thing is already there. So one thing that he does, one thing that Kaneko does, is he lures you in with one problem, and then he sets up sometimes the next problem to look almost exactly like the other problem, such that maybe you think it's going to be the same answer, and then it never has been the same answer. So the obvious is set up threat mate. It's Tsumero. So he has to take. He has to take. Yeah. There's no other. He has to take. So now we get it back. He's got a block. Now we drop the bishop. No. So if we take, he can run. We can get a gold, but he's safe. Maybe we just argue that this is enough. Something like this is enough. You think at first a 2 sacrifice. Oh. But is that enough? Is that all we're going to get from this is a lance, and the king is running. Hmm. Boy. What other choices do we have? Do we have any other choices? We don't have a pawn. Well, we couldn't drop a pawn even if we had one. Mm. Huh. Boy. The fact that he never, like I said, he usually gives a slightly different answer makes me think that you're probably right, but this seems totally fine for the opponent. Like, that seems good. Castle break, sent it. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's it. It does break the castle if he runs. All right. I'll allow this. I will allow this. Because if he does take, then we get the same thing. I think we have enough pieces. I think we have enough pieces to mate here. He can't run because the bishop. If he goes here, then it's, yeah, okay, so, okay, yeah, it is. So if it's here, it's bishop drop. You know, whatever. Okay, yeah, so it's mate if he takes. And if not, he runs, and we're going to be able to harass and do stuff. All right, I agree. I agree. But I think that the other way also sort of breaks the castle, but this way breaks it better. There it is. Silver drop 8-2. Silver drop 8-2. King takes. Oh, he did king takes. Knight drop 7-4. Knight drop 7, pawn takes. Knight drop. Yeah, I mean, that way. But if he runs. So achieving linked knights. This is the position in the previous solution diagram where Gote's king has retreated to 7-1, escaping in advance of the check on 7-4 by the linked knights. The solution is silver drop 8-2, drawing the king back to 8-2 and achieving linked knights with the knight drop 7-4. This forces mate. In the solution diagram, if king 9-2... Oh, yeah. So we saw that. Yeah, I went through it. King 9-2, gold drop 8-2, king 9-3, bishop drop 7-5, and mates. Yes. In reply to the first move, silver drop 8-2, king 6-2 avoids the forced mate, but after bishop drop 3-5. Oh, so that is where I dropped. That is where I dropped. All right, good. And then the bishop dropped 3-5. Where's my 3-5? Right? Is this what? Oh, I did 4-5. I did 4-5. Or 4-4. I did 4-4. He's saying 3-5. Oops. King 5-1. Knight drop 5-3. Okay. And presumably this is going to be met by something. maybe just, yeah, maybe just even this. Okay. Okay. $102. Sentei's attack is quite sufficient. Problem 102. I think this will be the last for the day. Just making sure that the problem is transcribed correctly. We have the same bits in hand. We already have knight h6. But the pawn, this pawn is pushed. So the difference is that this pawn is pushed. That's the only difference. The only difference. The king, they have nothing in hand. So I'm going to do the same thing. Assume the same thing. Knight drop 7-4. If king runs, we know we have mate. So takes. Takes. We still have mate. If the king runs, bishop drop. Oh no, because he could run here. So if we do that, I'll draw that out. He can run. So maybe silver drop runs. Block it off. Well, that would be that would help me. Six-five knight when bishop drop. 6-5 knight when bishop drop. Six-five knight when bishop drop. Oh, in that previous one. The previous one to attack the gold. To attack the gold. Yeah, I was attacking with the gold. I guess he could have brought his gold up. Yeah, so I'd exchange and then drop. I'd have to drop the knight. Yeah. Makes sense. Wait, so what if I do drop the bishop? He comes over here. Can I do this? No. He's running just fine. Can I drop this first? Block off this area. How are they going to prevent mate here? I can't drop the gold because I need it here. And plus he could just run back this way. Hmm. 2-2 bishop. 2-2 Kawaku 6-3. Oh, in the previous problem again. Yeah, not here. I don't think. If we do this. So here I think you can just take. Like, I don't think this is going to be enough. This, I mean, that looks good. So that means if we take, he just keeps running. There must be a better move. There must be a better move. Oh, what? Oh, so what about? Oh, I don't have a knight. Oh yeah, I do. I still have this knight. Comes forward. I drop the bishop. He runs. Can I do this? Can I do this? So now he's blocked. And he can't take because gold drop. He can't take because gold drop again. Silver drop here. Silver. Silver, then gold. Or gold, then silver. No, because then he can run. Then he can run. Then he can run. Wait. So if I do this, he takes. he doesn't, he won't do that. So he'll run, and now we break up the castle. Except now our bishop is in danger. All right, all right. Let's go to the book. This is problem 102. Okay. Solution: knight drop 7-4. Correct. As I did. Pawn takes, knight takes, king 7-3, silver drop 7-5. Silver drop 7-5. What? Supporting the knight. This is the position in the solution diagram of problem 100, where Gote has moved the pawn from 6-3 to 6-4, trying to hang on by giving his king more room. However, the attack with knight drops 7-4 still works. After pawn takes, knight takes, king 7-3, drawing the king out of the Mino Castle, support the knight with silver drop 7-5. This threatens moves such as bishop drop 8-2, obviously, silver takes 6-4, and knight 6-5. Yes. Depending on the position in the game, instead of silver drop 7-5, it may be possible to attack straight away by bishop drop 8-2. King takes 7-4. Bishop drop takes 9-1. Wait, that's lame. That is a lame answer. That is a lame answer. You've got to at least show one follow-up. Okay, so this threatens moves. So anyway, instead of so in certain positions, they're saying instead of 7-5, it may be possible to attack straight away by 8-2. King takes 7-4. Wait, what? Oh, it's still not. Yeah. So king takes 7-4. Horse 9 takes 9-1. Or bishop takes 9-1, promote. Okay. All right. I'm unsatisfied with this answer, though. I'm definitely unsatisfied with this. Hey, Picari. At first, 7-5 gold or silver before drop the knight isn't not good. Before dropping the knight. Do they push the so if we drop the silver here first, what will the king even do? Maybe now the king just goes back. Hey, Dark Twitch. Yeah, I was a little late today. I started about 30 minutes to an hour a little later. So I started at 11 a.m. my time. Still a little early. These storming the Mino Castle streams, I don't go too long. I think this is actually going to be the last problem that I'm doing today. So if enemy passes, so let's go back to the answer. Now, if enemy passes, so yeah, so let's say they just push this pawn. (6-4) knight promotion. Wait. There's 6-4. I mean 6-4 bishop promotion. Wait. When? We drop, presumably. Yeah, I mean, this is threatening mate. So what do they do? Oh, that's just mate. That's just mate. Um, yeah. So bishop a2. So he's got to do something, right? Yeah. And now it's yeah, and now it's going to be mate. Same thing. Okay. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Do I recommend the book? Oh, absolutely. 100% recommend this book. I think this is one of the best English language books that we have. So we have, if you want to check it out on, in my YouTube channel, there are probably at least 5 or 6 of these. There's Storming the Half Mino Castle and Storming the Mino Castle. It's so pricey. Is it? Buying from Nekomado, the shipping is the probably the priciest part of it. I seem to remember their books being pretty cheap. Um, let's look. Let's look at Nekomado's site right now. Um, I have it in the description of the 48 euro. Oh, you're looking. It's 48 euro. Wow. I don't remember it being that expensive for me. Interesting. But I did buy this I think 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. It is I without reservation, I would say that this is one of the best English language books we have. And you go against the Mino Castle so often. Yeah. I have not seen many people say it's not good. So maybe just try to keep an eye out for like a used copy or yeah, yeah, it's tough. That is a lot of money. That definitely is a lot of money. So hopefully these streams anyway can help with it. But yeah, I've only done 102 problems now. Yeah, that was 100. This is problem 102. And yeah, so that's that. Yeah, exactly. Used as if there's a secondhand market for this super popular chess game in Western regions. Yeah, I meant like eBay. Like maybe that's the thing that eBay sort of localizes the world to some extent, but even then you're going to be paying probably obscene prices for shipping. Um, you are in Germany, so there is a German chess distributor who also has some shogi books, if I'm not mistaken. The I am not going to pronounce this name because it sounds like a very bad word in English. But let me shock. Let me paste this in. Well, I think. Oh, you know? Okay. So I think he has he or they. I don't know any how big this company is. I would love to visit this store. I've ordered. What did I order from him? I don't remember. Uh, I'm searching for Nekomado there. They've got it. 33.5 euro, and probably great shipping for you. So hopefully that helps. What is actually this site? This store is amazing. If you've never seen this store, it looks like he's also got the at a glance books, which is kind of interesting. I own a set of FIDE, the Magnus Carlsen, the FIDE, the modern FIDE World Championship pieces, the pieces that they use at the World Championship and candidates, the DGT enabled ones, and I didn't get it from them unfortunately, but their price was far and away better than like there's a place that I got them from, Chess House here in the United States, like obscenely overpriced. Yeah, I love these guys. So anyway, all right. So that is going to do it, I think, for today. I will just make the notes and put it in and make the VOD public, and that's going to be it. So thanks everybody for coming. I know it's a Saturday stream. I know that people, it's a little slower. Yeah, they definitely ship to the US. And yeah, I love that store. Even though I don't buy chess stuff anymore, I still kind of every so often just kind of scan through it. I am not good at chess. I can play, I've said this before, but then people corrected me. But I was going to say everyone learns chess how the pieces move when they're a kid. People have corrected me and said that is not the case. It was my experience. It was my experience as a kid that we all learned how to play chess. But I never played it seriously or got good at it until lockdown. I started watching a lot. I still watch a lot of chess. I love chess, and I love watching it. I love the level of the production value now of chess content. I like the streamers. I love the chess software. I love chess equipment. It's just I decided I'd play shogi. I like them both. I decided that 3 years ago or whenever it was that I started playing over the board shogi as the lockdown lifted. I played shogi and that's it. So like I don't have any dislike of chess. I don't have the feelings. I play shogi. I love shogi. I wouldn't pick one as being better than the other personally. I love them both, and but I am better at shogi, and I have played more shogi, a lot more shogi than I have played chess. So that's that. Yeah. I do though, because I like equipment. I have some nice chess equipment. I've bought some nice piece sets, and not the boards I have are pretty stock. I'm pretty easy to please with chess boards. I have a nice leather roll up board that I got from an Etsy seller, but otherwise I mostly have however this is pronounced, Rechapados Ferrer, the Spanish chessboard maker. Those boards are very reasonably priced. They look fantastic and they feel great, but they're not like they're not the super expensive like solid wood boards. The Rechapado Ferrer, however that's pronounced, they're laminated. They're just it's what the DGT boards are made up from. Like they make the DGT boards. They do all that stuff. But they're reasonably priced for the beauty and quality. And so I just have some of those. But the piece sets I have some nice piece sets. My chess pieces, even though I play shogi, my chess pieces are way nicer than my shogi pieces. I haven't yet spent more than $100 on some shogi pieces, just because I think I think I would need to see them in person to get them. But anyway, that's it. That's it. Sorry for the diversion, but thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your shogi learning, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.